Just a little warning, I had no idea what I was doing when I started making this video, and it shows. This is some newbie content. Hey everyone, my name is Envy, and like I said, I had no idea what I was doing when I got myself into this. A couple of friends told me that it would be fun if I started making BookTube content, and one of the types of content that caught my eye when I was browsing BookTube last November were reading vlogs. And I didn't understand what they were. Are they just people reading, watching people read, people vlogging and reading? I had no idea. And I, with my galaxy brain, thought, remember last year when we did this whole course on practice as research? We're gonna do that with a reading vlog. Honestly, that was one of my not so great ideas, to which are probably getting used by now. Practice as research basically is all about doing something to understand it. So it's pretty common for people who dance or who are athletes, but it also works really well when you're trying to understand how an accent is like taking shape inside someone's mouth when they're talking. I'm a linguist in training if you didn't know yet, so that's why I'm always talking about accents with stuff like this. So yeah, I thought that's a method that's gonna work for a reading vlog too. And then it didn't. And I ruined literally everything. But, in case you're wondering why I still decided to post this, I read a book that deserves some attention for this reading vlog. And I talked a lot about this book in the footage that did survive the transfer to my new laptop. So, I'm gonna show you how I failed, because also I think it's pretty great to see people fail at stuff. So others don't feel like everything has to be perfect in one go. I mean, we're all learning, I hope, and I can laugh at my own failures, so I hope you do too. One more thing before I let you go and watch my attempt at making a reading vlog. This book contains content that might be considered triggering by some. It deals with physical abuse, husband and wife, that kind of dynamic. I do not go into a lot of detail, but the book does. I mention it a couple of times. If that is something that makes you very uncomfortable, just click out the video, no hard feelings. I don't want you watching something or hearing me talk about something that causes you distress. So, with that out of the way, let's just see how I did not manage to make a reading vlog work for me on my first attempt. Oh my god, believe it or not, this is like my 5th attempt at doing this, at just shooting this little bit, because I got flustered, I dropped my phone, I dropped the book, I dropped everything, I just started laughing at myself, I got obsessed with my broken out face because I've been eating too much cheap chocolate over the holidays, and this is what happens when I eat too much cheap chocolate. This is not going well, and I have no idea why I let myself be talked into this, but I'm doing this, and now I've decided, oh, let's do a reading vlog. Well, I don't even understand what a reading vlog is. Like, I've seen people do things like go to a bookstore, go to a cafe, read a book there, which is fun, but we're still in the middle of a pandemic. My country is in a complete lockdown. All I can do is go outside, sit in sub-zero temperatures and read a book, and I don't think that's fun for anyone involved. But, like, the alternative is that I'm stuck in my room all day reading, and that's also not aesthetically pleasing, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this whole vlog thing. Yeah, maybe I should just show you the book. So this is the book I'm currently reading. It's called Getekend voor het leven, which is Dutch for Scarred for Life, which is already like a great title to start the year off with. I know, it's not a happy book. It's written by a woman from Saudi Arabia. Her name, I'm gonna pronounce it the way I would in Dutch, so it's not accurate, but I'm giving it my all. I'd say Rania Al-Baz. And she was a news anchor in Saudi Arabia in the 1990s, which was super special because she was a young woman and she was the face of the news. Her husband didn't really like that. which is not very surprising, to be honest, if you're looking at the context. But his way of coping with his feelings was by beating her up, ruining her face, and dropping her off at the hospital. So this is basically her memoir of what happened, how she got to that point, and this is the kind of book I often enjoy reading, and that does not put me in a good light. I know. But the thing is that I really appreciate books like these because they show me what life is like in different countries, in different cultures. And I know one book is not like exemplary for every woman in a different culture, but I'm very interested in other people's lives. I'm not interested in reading about people who are exactly like me. I mean, I know what happens to young Dutch women who are white as well, who are working class. I don't give a shit because I've lived those stories. I don't care. I want to read about other people and their stories. So that's why I'm reading this book right now. It doesn't have too many chapters. It's like 10 chapters. So maybe I'll just give a brief update on every chapter, or I don't really know. Honestly, this was a really terrible idea. Okay, so what happened here is that I do have footage of me reading. Sorry for the glare and the lighting being bad, and I cannot use this footage at all because my SD card is not working as it should be, and I do not have access to these files in any way, shape, or form. So let's pretend this never happened. So a full day has passed by. We're a full day into 2021 and I haven't done anything. I stayed indoors because pandemic and there's literally nothing to do, so I didn't really have anything to show you other than me reading on my bed, as I'm always doing these days. I cleaned my room. I don't think anyone wants to see that because I'm basically a force of chaos and making things much worse before they get only slightly better. So yeah, I saved you that ordeal. And well, the book I'm about halfway through now. Doesn't say much because it has 230 pages, maybe it wasn't a lot. So yeah, the book. Oh god, where do I start? It was very interesting that the first two chapters are all about how she was physically abused and how that it didn't really inspire her, but due to her circumstances, she decided that she was going to become an activist and she had the connections. So that happened, and that's all really, well, great, of course. But what I really liked about that was that she insists throughout her narrative that this is not about her country or her culture, but about a man abusing his position of power within her family. I really appreciate this insight into her way of experiencing all this, how it made her grow, but also how she shows the reader that this is not about one religion or one culture that has this issue, but that it's something that happens in lots of countries, lots of places, and that's why she felt like it was necessary to stand up and tell her story. And the book was very obviously written with a Western audience in mind. So I think it's great that we get this more nuanced view of Saudi Arabian women. And yeah, I think more people from my country should read books like these. So the first two chapters are basically just about what happened to her, how she got into activism. And then the next few chapters, which I'm currently reading, are about her family and like her family history, which is also very interesting. It's all about the 1930s in Saudi Arabia, and I'm learning so much because I basically don't know anything about that country except for what women can do there. So I had no idea
about how fast the country developed and the kind of issues that came with such fast development. And I think that's very interesting as well. So even though it's not a read that makes me feel good, I'm enjoying it because I'm learning so much about something I wouldn't have thought twice about if it hadn't been for this book. So tomorrow we're gonna continue reading. Well, I'm going to continue reading. And probably do some university work because I've been putting that off for weeks. And this whole vlog is actually an attempt at procrastinating. I can't even speak anymore. New Year's Eve always makes my English go. It actually makes my whole brain go like that. I should probably just go to sleep and try again tomorrow because even my camera hand is now shaky. So I'm gonna sleep.
I'm really cold today. It's the next day, by the way. I have tried to do some university work and it gave me a headache almost right away. So I didn't do anything. Well, I read like 6 pages of the article I was supposed to read. And then I went back to reading my book. So I am now almost done with this book. I have about 30 pages left, I think. And the main conclusion so far is that this book stinks. That's not a judgment on the writing at all. It's meant in the literal sense. Like, I don't know what happened to this book because I didn't buy it. I got a box of books. They were all about feminism and women in the Middle East, and one of the neighbors on my street gave it to my mom, the whole box. So that's how these books ended up in my room. I've made my way through most of them. This is actually the last one, I think. And all of them were fine smell-wise, but this one smells really weird and I don't know what it is. I mean, sometimes when someone smokes a lot, their books also smell like smoke, but that's not the case with this one. This one just stinks. And I really hate it because every time I flip a page, there's this huge cloud of stink just blowing up in my face and it's so nasty. So yeah, that's not enjoyable at all. Maybe that's why I'm moving so fast through this book. It's also because I'm procrastinating still, but we'll fix that like tomorrow is what I say every day. What else can I say? Well, the book is interesting. I gotta admit that. I'm not too fond of the writing style. I don't know, it's not a really big problem, and I can't really tell why I'm not enjoying the writing style that much. But sometimes I feel like it's been written for a younger audience, and I'm 24, so like I don't think that was actually a case that they were writing for teenagers. But yeah, sometimes the sentences just come off as if she was aiming at a younger audience. So that's not... could be worse. It's also not the case that every sentence sounds like that. It's usually very mature in the way it deals with this woman's life story. And well, it's her own life story. It's her memoir, so that should be the case, ideally. But I've also read plenty of books where they just didn't give a damn about stuff like that. So yeah, it's not one of the best books I've ever read, but it's very interesting. The first 2 chapters were about how she was basically forced into activism, but that's not a bad thing in her opinion. She actually really enjoys being a spokesperson for Saudi Arabian women who have been abused physically by their husbands. And then after the first 2 chapters, we go way back in time to when she was 11 and got her first proposal and stuff like that. So she got married at, what was it, 16? And then her husband starts complaining because she acts like a child. And I was just sitting there last night with my book like, what did you expect? If anyone had married me at 16, it would have married a literal toddler. So I don't really know why this guy expected to marry like an adult when he was literally proposing to a 16-year-old. So yeah, interesting thought process there. And that was probably very normal in Saudi Arabia in the 90s, but a bit hard for me to imagine as a Dutch person speaking about this in 2021. But I actually enjoy that because it makes me think about things from a very different point of view. And what else do I have to say? Nothing much except for the fact that I'm going to find myself a sweater and stop being cold. Mistakes were made. This is actually not even funny. So I was reading this book and I finished it early January on the second day of 2021. And what did I do? I forgot I was making a reading vlog. So I was like, oh my god, I finished my first book. I can go read Attachments now, because I was obsessed with Attachments at the time. I really wanted to read that. And because of that, I forgot to actually finish this vlog. So please forgive me, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on this book now. And I'm going to find my tripod because my arm is getting tired already because I'm weak. Okay, now you can all see the top half of my homemade Captain America shirt that my mom made me when I wanted to go to Comic-Con years ago. Doesn't matter, I wear this when I'm not feeling well and I'm on the verge of getting sick, so that's why I look like this today. Anyway, wrapping up this book. My opinion on the writing style did not change, not at all. In fact, it got more annoying as the book went on. It was just a little bit too childish at times for my tastes, but like maybe I'm just being overly critical of that because I'm also reading these heavy duty classics for university. So that might just be me. As far as the plot goes, well, I've told you most of that. What was very important to me is that it brought me an insight into Saudi Arabian culture, which it did, but one thing I didn't see coming was that the husband who abused the author of this book was a black man from Africa. This woman was married twice. The first time was to the dude I talked about who said, I married a child. And I was like, yeah, you married a literal child. She's 16. So they got divorced and then she married a black man from Africa, which I did not see coming because she didn't mention it in the beginning of the book. So I was, I think, 3/4 of the way through when she actually mentioned that. And then it added this whole dimension of racism in Saudi Arabia to the whole story. And that was super interesting to me because I know quite a lot about racism in Europe, where I'm from, about racism in the United States because I spent way too much time there when I was a kid. But I had no idea about the sentiments that are, while keeping racism alive in Saudi Arabia. Finally, really wrapping this up. Do I recommend this book? Yeah, if you're interested in this type of book, of course. But I would not say that this is one of my favorite books ever. This is the type of book I read to learn more about the world, especially the parts of the world that I don't know, and it did that job really well. So I'm going to rehome this one when the lockdown is finally over, which I don't see happening anytime soon because they keep extending it. But hey, if that is what we need to do, we're gonna do that. So I'm not complaining. Anyway, I'm going to end this vlog and wash my hair and hopefully feel a bit better so I can focus on making video content that doesn't suck. Yeah, that was not what I hoped it would be. Me being chaotic and forgetting to end the vlog is actually not that surprising because that's just the way I am. But then there was also the whole thing with my footage being stuck on a camera that I couldn't access anymore. That sucked, and well, let's just say that practice as research works way better when you're a dancer or when you have the slightest idea of what you're supposed to be doing. It does not work if you want to make a reading vlog. This was my first attempt, and like many things I try for the first time, it was not a good attempt. So I will be doing classic research and I'll make sure that my next reading vlog does not suck. So what did I learn? I need to watch more reading vlogs. I need to get a better sense of structure when I'm doing these videos, and I think it's important that more people read books like these, which was my main message from the parts that weren't ruined. So next time I do a reading vlog, which will hopefully be sometime soon, I will not make such a mess of this, I promise you. So like and subscribe if you kept up with me and if you want to see me improve, because that's what the whole YouTube thing is about in these first few months, right? Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you next time and all that fancy stuff. Bye.